Over the past few months, I've interviewed 5 Maverick founders who have chosen something radically different for their businesses: self-management. They've chosen systems such as Holacracy, Sociocracy, Semco style, and horizontal structures to adapt their organizations to become more high-performing, more effective, and more resilient. In this video, I'm going to share their top 5 lessons for those of you who are intrigued about the journey of self-management. Hi, I'm Lizzie, a company culture coach based here in the UK. And over the past 7 years, I've helped teams and small businesses break free from traditional rigid structures and embrace self-managing practices. In this video, I'll be sharing the 5 lessons of these founders who have all built self-managing organizations. They've been through it all: the highs, the lows, the challenges, the breakthroughs, the rewards. And these are the 5 lessons that I've distilled down. So, let's dive in. The first lesson comes from entrepreneur Natacha Neumann, who founded a popular children's health food brand in Germany and is now the president of the Entrepreneurs Organization in Berlin. This lesson is about how we approach change in the first place. So often we see organizations trying to overhaul everything all at once, and that just doesn't work. It's overwhelming strategically, and it's also overwhelming for the people. Natacha emphasizes the importance of starting where you are. Don't try to adopt an entirely new system overnight. Begin with small changes that fit your organization's culture and then evolve them over time. For example, in Natacha's company, they began their self-management journey with the framework of Holacracy. This is a very strict management structure that provides you with clear guidance and processes on roles and responsibilities, meeting structures, and decision-making protocol. But as time went on, it became really clear to Natacha that this strict adherence to Holacracy just wasn't working for the team. So they began to evolve their ways of working and create something that was more unique to them. Natacha is very clear. It's not about copying someone else's model, even though that's a great place to start. Essentially, it's about finding something that works with your team and the unique DNA of your business. So a practical question here is to ask yourself, what is one area we could start experimenting with today? At number 2, we have a lesson from Tom van der Lubbe, the co-founder of Fusi, a mortgage advice service based in the Netherlands, who were the first financial services company to be 100% self-organizing. So they really do have a thing or two to teach us about self-management. Tom's lesson reminds us that self-management isn't some kind of modern trend or fad that we should be following. It actually has deep roots in the way we organize as humans. Self-management and self-organization exists in many forms around us, from nature to anthropology. And Tom reminds us that this isn't just another culture fad. In fact, it's a very holistic approach to being more human in the way we organize. Our next lesson comes from Bomee Jung, co-founder of Cadence 15, a horizontal organization based in New York who focus on climate justice. Bomee was very open with me when she shared her intentions for the culture at Cadence 15. In fact, even before they had their first employee, she'd created this manifesto of the intentions that she had about the company culture. And one of those intentions was to make sure that the culture didn't revolve around traditional management thinking. Bomee's lesson is default to open. Leaders should create an environment where transparency is the norm. Whether it's sharing information, sharing challenges, or decisions, when transparency is present, it creates greater trust and resilience within the team. As Bomee put it on the podcast, transparency isn't just a value, it's a tool for accountability and collaboration. Lesson number 4 comes from Charlotte van Leeuwen, a serial entrepreneur and founder of a visual communications agency based in the Netherlands. They not only transformed into a self-managing organization, but they also became steward-owned. While there's a big emphasis on culture and organisational structure, Charlotte highlights an important aspect that is often overlooked when it comes to self-management: personal growth. For Charlotte, becoming a leader in a self-managing organisation meant confronting some of her habits, assumptions and blind spots. It meant doing some deep inner work. After all, we all know that leaders are the biggest influence on company culture. If they don't want to change, the culture isn't going to change. This is even more so true for self-managing organisations, because leaders need to step back from their ego and be able to distribute power to others. Charlotte was really honest about her personal journey and how she discovered the power of coaching, meditation and yoga to help her on her personal growth journey. But of course, it's not prescriptive. Anything that helps you grow as a person is going to be beneficial to yourself and those around you. Charlotte's lesson is really simple. If you want to lead a self-managing organisation, you have to do the personal work first. Our final lesson comes from Pieter Jelle de Brue, the CEO of Static, a creative agency who have been self-managing for more than 12 years. Pieter's lesson reminds us that self-management is not a destination, it's a journey. Too often we see culture changes as an occasional thing to work on. It has a start point and an end point. But that is not the reality of culture. Things change around us all of the time, which means your culture has to evolve and adapt to ensure that it can withstand and be resilient to those changes. Whether it's external changes like market fluctuations, politics, or environmental issues, or whether it's internal changes like the growth of your company. Culture should never be seen as static. Apologies about the pun. As Pieter has been on this journey for almost 12 years, he openly shared on the podcast how things are still evolving at Static, and even shared some of the challenges that they still have today. Having this mindset that it is a journey and that there will always be adaptations and evolutions will ensure that you can withstand the demands of the journey. But it isn't all intense and demanding. As Pieter so beautifully shared on the podcast with examples and stories, that actually self-management has had such a positive impact on his company and his team that they would never go back to the traditional way of doing things. If you've enjoyed these lessons and you want to learn more, you can hear the full interviews on my podcast, Make It Thrive, the Company Culture Podcast, which is available on Spotify or on any podcasting platform. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.